Charles Barkley's basketball knowledge, although anyone who thinks the Joakim Noah signing had any upside is out of their mind. I mean, like, that's insane. Joakim Noah was finished last year, you could tell. 3 years ago, he was mine and everyone's among their favorite players. He's exactly what you need on a championship-style team. Did anyone watch him last year? He was done, stick a fork in him, done, and Phil gave him a 4-year contract for $70 million. That was a stupid and terrible idea. The one thing, he took a gamble on Derrick Rose. Of course, he actually gave up serviceable talent to get him. The one thing you can give Phil Jackson credit for, and only one, is that he delegated responsibility in such a way that he drafted Kristaps Porzingis. Although even then, that was the 4th pick in the draft. So the top 3 blue chip guys that everyone knew were going to go 1, 2, and 3. Karl Anthony Towns was going to be 1. Then the question was, Okafor, D'Angelo Russell, who would be 2, who would be 3? After that, it could have been Porzingis or a bunch of guys. And the leader in the clubhouse in terms of what people felt was Porzingis. But give Phil Jackson credit. There was a draft. 3 other teams, or 2 other teams, because Towns was going to go 1, passed on Porzingis. Phil Jackson's team grabbed him because he trusted his people. He deserves credit for that, and that's a big thing. And that is it. He has made a mess of everything else. The personnel decisions have been awful, and that is the reason the Knicks stink, because they have a solid coach. They don't have a good enough team.
Well, first of all, we don't know if Jeff Hornacek is solid. We'll give him the benefit. Yeah, I'm talking about Phoenix. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We don't know if he's solid. I'm not excoriating him in any way, but we don't know if he's solid. Here's the thing that I want to back, and I don't disagree with anything that you said because you're right on the money. Phil Jackson has been an atrocity. Okay, he's been awful. And as far as I'm concerned, there should be barricades let out of New York. As far as I'm concerned, he's New York's version of Jay Cutler. He means nothing to me. He's a novice, 0 experience, and he's showing it right now. But the crime with him, like I've said about Jay Cutler, when I call Jay Cutler the worst quarterback in the NFL, it's not because of his ability, because the ability is clearly there. It's that he doesn't care. I am accusing Phil Jackson of negligence. I'm not questioning the greatness of him as a coach or his basketball acumen. That would be asinine. I am questioning his commitment. I am accusing him of flagrant negligence. He doesn't want to answer questions. He doesn't want to make himself available to the media. And then when you look at the contracts that he's brought on board, it ain't just Joakim Noah, who, by the way, is being paid $17 million this year. It ain't just Derrick Rose, who's in the last year of a $21.3 million contract. It ain't just Courtney Lee, okay? I mean, where are his salaries at? I can't even find it right now.
Courtney Lee was a good signing, just too many years.
Too many years, but that's what I'm saying. Because remember, it's the fact that you gave him too many years. You could have got a guy like Dwayne Wade, who's a champion, who would have been in your locker. And this is what the crime, nobody brought this up about Phil. It's 2 things that are very, very important here that needs to be mentioned, which is why I completely disagree with Charles Barkley. That's why I wish he was here to debate me, because I'm telling you, I would have called him on this. It's 2 things. 2 things with Phil. Number 1, when you look at Phil, he hired a coach in Derrick Fisher. That coach, Derrick Fisher, was given $5 million a year. You had to give him $5 million a year because you failed to convince James Dolan to give Steve Kerr more than $4 million a year. All right? And less years, by the way. You can't pull that off, you Phil Jackson? You couldn't prioritize Steve Kerr, but you found a way to prioritize Derrick Fisher?
You think Kerr would have taken the money to go to the Knicks instead of going to Golden State?
No, I don't. But at the time, you remember, they beat you to the punch, because even though change was coming, at the same time, it was clear.
And once they paid Kerr, that set the market. Now you had to pay Derrick.
There you go. So you got that going on. But the biggest thing that never has been brought up about Phil, and this is what bothers me about every damn body in the NBA, they don't bring this up enough. When you are an executive with name cachet, your ability to go out and recruit talent to come play for you is paramount. The fact that you got marquees, whether it's a LeBron, whether it's a Kevin Durant, you're an 11-time champion who delivered titles to MJ and Kobe. You can't get them to sit down for dinner with you? To have a conversation? They wouldn't even meet with Phil to have a conversation. It was Melo out front and center talking to Kevin Durant, trying to recruit Kevin Durant to come to New York City. Phil was nowhere to be found, and it ain't because of his bad hips. It's because the man is lazy. It's because the man don't give a damn. He never wanted the job, and that is that. And so when you look at it from that perspective, here's my point. We bring out this name. I'll tell you an executive who hasn't been mentioned by anybody. How about Joe Dumars? A guy that took the Pistons to 6 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals appearances. A guy that sat up there and won an NBA championship and went to 2 NBA finals? That dude. Now, granted, he's vilified because he drafted Darko Milicic instead of Melo or Bosh or D-Wade, but he did have Tayshaun Prince. They had just won a title, or they were en route to a title, rather. And as a result, it was like, yo, I paid Tayshaun this money. I still would have taken one of the three. It damn sure wouldn't have taken. I wouldn't have taken Darko Milicic. But at the same time,
after the Frederick Weiss debacle in New York,
when you consider this man's resume, you're talking about a guy that's proven as an executive. We never hear that name. But Phil Jackson, who never picked up a damn phone to make a deal because he was busy coaching, by the way, all of a sudden commands 10 to 12 million a year. He's been asleep at the wheel. He's been asleep at the job. And one of the great things is that I heard New Yorkers finally coming to their damn senses and booing this man the other night because he deserves it.
I brought up Pat Riley earlier, and Phil Jackson's among the great coaches in Lakers history, and so is Pat Riley. And for years, Phil Jackson had dusted Pat Riley, right? Like, he had just more success as a coach. Now do an analysis of who's coming out ahead, right? Like, because as an executive, would Pat Riley ever allow that to happen under his watch?
Pat Riley would never do that to a player.
Pat Riley was the guy who came off first with Mourning and Hardaway, then with Shaq and Wade, then with LeBron and Wade and Bosh, and because he cared about it, because he poured his heart and soul into it.
And he doesn't devalue players.
And he doesn't devalue them publicly. He would not do that. At least for a time. Mm-hmm. And Phil Jackson has made a mess of this.
Pat Riley doesn't have anybody worth noting. LeBron is gone. D-Wade is gone. You know, Chris Bosh is ailing, obviously, and he's not going to be there. And somehow, some way, the Miami Heat are on an 11-game winning streak. They're going this way, devoid of talent. They're going this way, which speaks to the greatness of Eric Spoelstra as a young coach, tutored by Pat Riley.
And the organization.
And
it's
the
a good organization.
First class organization.
Right.
This is a